ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Yvonne Mason, with All Things Books and Publishing. My co host, Mary Brotherton, has decided to go visit family for the next 2 weeks. So we brought on somebody I absolutely adore, have adored her for years. We have been in this business longer than most of you probably have even been alive.
That's for sure.
And we were just talking a few minutes ago about promoting and how we started this way back when. So without further ado, Andrea Dean Van Scoyoc, welcome to my world.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Always happy to be here.
Andrea and I go way, way, way back. She and I were two of the first authors out there that helped take the stigma away from self published authors. We were looked down on, we were maligned. People looked at us like we had two heads, told most of us we didn't, apparently weren't good writers since nobody would pick us up, all the other garbage.
I
We
actually had a hate thread started about me on a forum by someone who admittedly had never read my books.
sounds familiar.
Yep, that was what we endured back in the day.
So what we did is we did social media before social media was social media. We both had pages on MySpace. Now, those of you who are younger and think you have all the answers, MySpace does not exist anymore. It was before Facebook, it was before Twitter, it was before X, it was before Instagram, it was before all the other stuff out there. We had MySpace,
We
and
did.
that's what we operated off of. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, our way works. I still use social media. I still use the old ways because it works. Case in point, Murder in the Village has gone crazy because I use social media and because I took the three nasty reviews and used them to my advantage. But that we've talked about that to death. Today we're going to talk to Andrea because she was the second author that came on board with me when I started Midnight Publishing. She kindly said, "Here's my books. Will you do them?" And I said, "Yeah." So she pulled them and we redid them. There's got them. We have them all, but a couple that it would be in her best interest at this point not to publish them because she is going in a different direction, and I
Yes.
want it to stay in that direction for her benefit. So,
Yes. And you get all my future books too, just for the
um,
record.
yeah, I get everything the woman
That's a given.
writes. It's just the way we operate.
Yes,
Now,
it is.
many of you all will say, "But Yvonne, how much do you charge?" Okay, I've said it before, and I will continue saying it. I said it to a new author yesterday, and I will continue to say it. And Andrea will tell you because there were so many people that was good to Andrea and I way back in the day, even after we got taken by a so-called publisher who is still out there, by the way. He is
Yes.
still operating, and his name is Vernon Firestone. If you get contacted by a gentleman by the name of Vernon Firestone, cut him off at the knees because he is a con artist and a grifter and a
Block him.
pimp.
Block
Block.
him. I'm still owed royalties from a check that never magically appeared and
Right.
got lost in the mail. Dog ate it. It disappeared into Gort's. Aliens took it, whatever the excuse was.
He ran off with my PA. They were both married. He ran off with my PA. She left her 15-year-old daughter with her husband, and they went to Michigan and took our money with them.
Yes, and took our money with them.
The excuse was we needed money to move. Excuse me, it was not your money. That
Exactly.
being said, we've moved on from that, but just buyer beware.
Right,
So,
but to let people know that this is what authors like us endured back in the day.
exactly. So now we hold our own fate in our hands. Jason Wolfgang Gerhardt was the first one. Andrea came on and said, "Take all of my books and republish them." The point I'm making is, I charge nothing. Absolutely nothing. You, as an author, get your royalties if you choose. You get your royalties, they are yours. You own the rights to your book. If you decide, I don't like Midnight Publishing, I want to go someplace else. Okay. We pull your books, we send you the graphics, we send you your manuscript. Everything comes back to you to do with as you will. But my philosophy is I pay it forward. And I pay it forward because people believed in Andrea and I way back in the day. Am I right?
Yes, yes, those who supported us really supported us. It wasn't like it is now. I ask my so-called friends now to share, check stuff out, and I can count on one hand all the friends that do. Where back in the day, when you and I would do a campaign like we're doing now,
Yep.
we would have so many views, we'd be sitting there giddy like little kids.
Because we supported each other.
Yes.
That sadly the indie author circle has become kind of cutthroat, and that's sad. There I have seen threads where authors were tearing down other authors, where at events the event planner was having it out with authors, and it's sad. There's no reason for it. It's hard enough out here.
Yeah,
And
that's like a repeat of what you and I went through
yeah,
when we were trying to take the stigma away from self-publishing. And now I even had one guy tell me, I said, I never realized I would do it all over again, but I never realized I was cutting my own throat pushing self-publishing the way I did, because now anybody that has a nightmare can write a story and slap it up somewhere and say, "Oh, I'm a published author," or put it on a self-publishing platform and say, "I'm an author." Where back in our day, you
it
didn't
was.
do that.
Mm-mm.
You were a talentless scumbag. Um, if you were any good, you wouldn't have to do that. Now, a 5-year-old could write a story and be published. But I still, for my part, would do that all over again to help people who had no hope get started in the publishing industry. But I've had people tell me, "Oh, yeah, well, no, self-publishing was never like that." I had one guy argue with me when it was still Twitter. On Twitter, I was telling him, I would do it over again, but I remember when self-publishing was taboo. You did not self-publish on your life. You did not self-publish. It was never like that. I'm like, really? I was there. I doubt that. I don't know anything about that. And I'm like, I do. I was there.
We've
I
been in
became
this business for over 20 years. We
Yeah,
know what happened.
exactly. This guy argued me up and down that the self-publishing industry was never like that. It's always been open.
So, this is the next time you have to deal with somebody like that. Your response is your level of stupidity exponentially exceeds my level of intelligence.
Yeah, well, I wasn't quite that kind, and I cut the conversation off because I said, "Look, I'm glad that you know the most intimate parts of my life, where I've been, who I was back in the day, and I'm glad you know so much about me that you know that I wasn't there." And I'm like, conversation over.
See you
But
later. Bye.
yeah, but it's unfortunately just like with the regular publishing industry, now self-publishing is getting the same way. I see, and this is oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how much this absolutely gripes me. "Oh dear Instagram algorithm, please bring me poets and authors." And here's me. "Oh, hey, how you doing? Poet, author here." Nothing.
Crickets.
Yes, and it's like back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I'm talking about when you and I were in our infancy doing this. Back in the day, that would have had 5,000 responses. that person would have followed all 5,000 people. All 5,000 people would have followed them back, and we would have been playing off of each other like a circus.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who I'm going to call newbies in this business, you have to understand that if we don't support each other, then there's an old adage, if we don't all work together, we'll all die together. It's that simple. We know what happened. We were there. We dealt with the negativity. We dealt with, oh, you can't come in our writers group because you're not A, B, C, or D. We dealt with, oh, you're self published. We changed that. We are indie authors, just like indie music, indie movies.
Yes,
It's the same thing. We are indie artists and we deserve a seat at the table we lay, not what everybody else lays. We lay this table, we invite people in, and all are welcome until until you get nasty, you stab us in the back, or you start talking bad about the history of indie authors and what we had to accomplish just to get this far.
exactly.
And this is why I don't charge to publish your books, because I want you guys to have the same opportunity that we didn't have, that we fought and struggled for, that we had to dig down deep and draw a line in the sand and say, we're not leaving. We're here to stay. You either accept us or you don't. But there is an audience out there for our work.
Yes. Yes, because if you remember, and it's this way now, it's like I was telling someone the other day that asked me for writing tips. I said, okay, let's say that you submit your manuscript to a big name publisher. Okay. 99.99% of the time, no simultaneous submissions, meaning you cannot submit your work elsewhere until you hear back from them. That
Right.
could take 6 months to a year.
Or more.
Yes, they reject you. You send your novel out again. 6 months to a year, if you're lucky, they reject you. There's potentially 2 years of your life right there gone.
You'll
Where if
never
you,
get back.
yes, where if you had just self-published, you could have been taking those 2 years and just
Marketing your work.
gone crazy with it. Yeah.
So this is what we do here at Midnight Publishing. Unlike, and I'm gonna go off for just a minute because I've been fighting with these people for a couple of days. They finally listened. Just like Cracker Barrel, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What we do is not broke, so we're not fixing it. Our brand is our brand, and every author within this family is part of that brand, and they realize that every author within this family can be as creative as they want to. They can send me as many books as they want to. They can pull their books back when they want to. All we ask in return is they help promote their book, because that is what gets the book sales. That is what generates the interest. And you have to have a hook. Andrea and I, we dress strange. We are unique. But that's us. Black is a color in our world. But
Yes.
that's us. So let's go into, we're going to start with the latest book first because it's coming out on September the 15th. And then
Yes.
we'll roll back to the reprints. What Andrea has done is Andrea has given the goth community a spiritual outlet. And I'm going to let her run with it and tell you about it because this is very near and dear to her heart. So take off.
Absolutely. Thank you. As you know, I have been goth since my first memories of playing dead on top of my parents' station wagon hood, holding flowers on myself. I've been goth before goth was a thing. And I've always had to struggle with the church and goth. I remember my mother telling me, you can't wear that to church. So I'd have to tone it down. And the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, okay, I look like everybody else in here, but that's not what I feel like. And as I've gotten older, I've played off of it and let it go, come back, let it go. But with age, I'm seeing and the way the world is changing, Christianity has taken a nosedive. You've got so many false prophets out there. You've got your televangelists out there bleeding everybody dry and the fools sending them every penny they've got. And you've got churches that are snobby, don't want to treat people as people. They just want to get brownie points. And then you've got your goths that love God, that believe in Jesus Christ as their savior, but couldn't step foot in a church if they wanted to. In fact, one girl on a site I belonged to was talking about how one of her church members came up to her and told her that she was going to hell. There was no way she could dress like that she was going to go to hell. She was sinning, she was evil. And that got me thinking. I've been an ordained minister since 2009. And I thought there needs, there are groups out there, Goths for God, the Obsidian Cross. There's a few, but I thought we need an actual church. And for right now, it's online because we are so spread out everywhere. But I do a Sunday Bible reading. I post daily Bible verses. I am open for prayer. All someone has to do is contact me and say, I need prayer. You don't even have to tell me why. Can if you want to. I will pray for you, burn incense. And as I've noticed, being a Christian Goth and even a minister, the second I say minister, I get because of the way I dress. And I get do you worship the devil? No. I'm actually a Christian Goth minister. There's no such thing. And so after years and years and years, I finally decided I can't be the only one going through this. And joining Christian Goth groups like I have online, I have found out I am not the only one going through this. The difference is I decided to take all of my personal experiences, which mirror so many others in the Christian Goth community. We all have basically the same story, but I told it from my point of view, what I've experienced, and put it in a book. And that book is in your capable hands, coming out on the 15th. And I am so excited because as I was writing it, I'm sitting there thinking, a lot of this is so ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. The assumptions, the judgment, the hatred, the rejection. And so it mirrors quite a bit what goes on in the Goth community.
And the thing is, what people do not understand, and you stated this very eloquently in the synopsis of the book, on the back of the book, is that we are not judged by our external appearance. God judges us by our hearts and our internal appearance. And if we do not allow someone who looks different from us in a church building, then, ladies and gentlemen, that's all it is. It's a building.
Right.
It's just a building. The church is the people that meet there. And if we do not allow people who look different from us into that family, shame on us. Because the way that we look may not look right to someone else, or the way someone else looks may not look right to someone else. It's not how we look, it's our behavior. It's our internal spirit and our internal man that God judges. Where I go, I don't care if somebody comes in and hadn't lives on the street. I don't care, because remember, Jesus was among the publicans and sinners, and the publicans were hated. But it's not the exterior. And so the name of Andy's book is Welcome to the Crow Haven Chapel. And in this book, she talks about how people who are dressed different are judged. I've seen, Andy, I've seen people judge people who are mentally and physically challenged. I've seen my own brother judged because he
Oh
was,
yeah,
and that's wrong. It is so wrong.
it is. And what people tend to forget is that when Jesus walked the streets, he was judged for the way he looked.
He was.
Because it's like I was discussing this earlier with my brother-in-law. Jesus walked this earth with the shoes on his feet and the clothes on his back.
And that was
That,
it.
that was it. He did not know where he was going to sleep at night. He did not know where his next meal was going to come from. So this whole thing of giving all your money to these preachers so they can buy a brand new Mercedes or go have a holiday home in the Bahamas or live in a multi-million dollar mansion. No, that is not what being a Christian is about. You cannot buy your way into heaven.
You cannot. And this is and you also can't pray your way into heaven.
No, you cannot buy your way into heaven. You cannot pray your way into heaven. You cannot pray anybody else into heaven. And that is what my book touches on. Everything from when I used to shave my head and the remarks I would get from people, from the way I've dressed to my love of nature. I mean, you name it. It's people are going to read this and they're going to be like, "You're kidding me, right?" Every single one of these, with the exception of one story, and it was one that I know happened. I wasn't there, but I know it happened, and it happens quite a bit. Other than that, all of the rest of the stories are me embellished for storytelling names.
Right.
I didn't put my own name in there and say, "Oh yeah, this is what happened to me." I do it in storytelling so people will understand, because it's not about me. It's about what I keep saying. It's okay that elder Christian Goths like me are having to walk if it means the future Christian Goths can run.
And that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's the bulk of this story, and what Andrew is trying to do with Welcome to the Crowhaven Chapel is to educate others out there that it is the measure of the man, not the outward appearance, that God looks at. When some when somebody says, Yvonne, how can you have all the weird stuff you have in your house and be a Christian? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, I have a very deep and abiding faith, and Andrea has been with me on all of these journeys. If it were not for my faith, I would probably have committed suicide after we lost my granddaughter.
Yes.
If it were not for my faith, I wouldn't be here. But I understand, like Andrea understand, that God is in charge of the entire universe. He put it here. He will take it away in due time. So if you're out there and you see someone who is different, who wears their clothes different, who talks different, who looks different, don't be so quick to judge, because you would not want God judging you in the same light. I know I don't.
Oh yeah, no way. I
Because I,
can promise, because his judgment will be a lot worse than anyone else's.
there you go. So it is already the book Welcome to the Crowhaven Chapel is already up for pre-order on Kindle. It will be available live on Kindle, paperback and hardback on September the 1st. Once it goes live on Kindle, then it will go live on Audible right behind it. And you know what? I am so proud of Amazon because they contacted me several months ago and said, "We want you to work with us on this beta Audible." And it's AI is all it is. And I said, sure, why not? So I started uploading all of our books on Audible, and I get to pick the voices I want to use. They have British, male, female, 30 to 40, 50 to 60, Southern, same thing, and just all kinds of different voices. Well, as they have grown in this AI Audible, the voices are getting better and better. So what I do is I go and I pick the voice that is most favorable to my author. In your case, it would be a Southern voice, a Southern female voice.
Right.
Between 50, 60, maybe 30, 40, depending on the voice. And then the Audible goes right up. I don't have to worry about the gigahertz. I don't have to worry about the trim. I don't have to worry about anything. I just decide what I want. It pulls it from the Kindle and up it goes. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't charge my authors for this. That is 4 formats. With Andrea's hardcover, I was ready to toss it out the door because Amazon has very strict guidelines when I do a book. I mean, it's tight. It has to be very, very tight. But I kept at it because I wanted it up there. So I kept at it. And hopefully it's up there now. It'll go live on the 1st. But they have made it so easy for me to help these guys. I got a new author yesterday. Her name's Tara. She lives here in Vero. She had a dream, and her dream was to publish a children's books about fairies in the environment. And she said, Yvonne, I put it up on Amazon and I got the proof copy and I didn't like it, so I took it down. I said, well, honey, you've come to the right place. Because as she's talking, I said, I have an idea. Write your children's books for the wee one in the series. Because this is a fantasy, you can take this to places it's never gone before. You write the children's books, the simple children's books with illustrations for the wee ones. Then you write one a little bit more advanced for those between the ages of, say, 8 and 10. And we can add illustrations for those guys if we want to. Then you write the one for the 10 on up. It's the same story, but it's more advanced as the child grows older, so they can grow up with those books. That's what we do. We make dreams. We are dream
Make
makers.
them come true.
We do.
Yeah.
Sherry Richardson's another one. She had 2 books, A Chocolate Lover's Garden and Under the Dragon's Eye. Both of those books, she's waited for years for them to be real. They're now real. They're out there. Under the Dragon's Eye is coming out the 25th. Or maybe it's already out. I can't keep up. I think it is out. But, and Andrea's the same way. We redid the 2, A Man of Two Worlds, Blackford Manor, Sundown, A Vampire's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we do?
Left to the Night Alone.
Left to the Night Alone. The first one you sent me, that I thought you were going to come through the computer when you saw the cover because it said everything you wanted it to say.
I know I've sent you so many, I've lost track.
She does that with all the covers because I build them and I say, look, this is what we're doing. She did a short story book, and I said, she sent me her cover. I said, are you married to this cover? Because this is what I see. And she said, no, I'm not, and I like this better. So that's what I do. But if you go on Andrea's Facebook page or you come on the Midnight Publishing page, you're going to see all of her books. They are all back out there with the exception of 2 because, again, we're going in a different direction. And her books have rebirthed. Oh, the short story book, Werewolves and Toxic Rain. It's just two stories, two short stories. She sent them to me. I put them in a short story book. It's not in hardcover because there's not enough pages, but you can download it as an Audible. You can download it as a Kindle. You can buy it as a paperback. They're not that expensive. And that's another thing about us, because we don't have to go through third parties, aka agents, marketing people. Who else gets their cut? The publishing house, the bookstores. The authors get a bigger cut of their royalty. I mean, they get all their royalty, but they get a nicer chunk of change, even with Amazon going up on their pricing. So, what kind of feedback are you getting on Welcome?
So far, people, they don't really know what to think, because this is a one of a kind, first ever book. Because the Christian community would like to think that Christian Goths don't exist. Because if Christian Goths exist, then they can't accuse the Goth community of being strictly devil worshippers, like is quite popular. The Christian Goth community doesn't know what to think because no one's ever spoken for them before. So far I'm getting it. It's like, I liken it to being out in the woods and somebody peeking around a tree at you. That's what it is so far.
Well,
Now I've gotten good feedback from one of the groups that I belong to. They're like, yes, please put the book up here, put the link. So I did all that today. I was all over my Instagram with it. I was all over my Facebook with it, tagging you every way I could. I put it on my TikTok on Crowhaven Chapel, and I'm like, here's a book that's going to talk about us. And so far, it's like testing the water with your toe. People just don't know what to think yet. And I'm hoping, what I would like to do is get some more interviews out of this, get some reviews for maybe some Christian magazines. And I'm willing to endure the storm that's coming, because just like with self-publishing, I can only imagine with the Christian community, dyed in the wool, and their stereotypes and their hatred of anything that doesn't fit into their neat little misunderstood box is going to bring. But I'm ready for it.
and the thing is, Andrea, you and I and Mary Brotherton, we are not afraid to take an adventure. We're not afraid to say, okay, this has never been done before. Let's see how we can do it and make it work. And
Absolutely.
I admire you and have a lot of respect for you for taking that step, because I agree with you. If people don't fit in other people's boxes, we become an enigma to them. They, number one, they can't manipulate or control us.
Right.
And number two, we stand out. We don't blend in. If you blend in, then you never get heard. And I agree. It's time for that community to be heard, because just because people dress different does not evil make them. The evil is in their heart.
Exactly.
And some of the nicest people I know dress weirdly. I mean, look at us. But that's beside the point.
And let me add, this is one thing that I mentioned in the book in story form, but I again speak from experience, so I'm telling my part of it. One of the vilest, most heinous thief and liar I have ever met in my life, the biggest scumbag you would ever come across in your life, can quote the Bible to you. Any book, no matter how obscure, chapter and verse, just like that.
And the
So I
Bible,
tell people all the time, just because you can quote the Bible, the devil knows the Bible better than any person walking this planet.
and he quotes it on a regular basis. He quoted it to Jesus on the mountaintop.
Yes. So that's what I tell people. This, just because you know the Bible doesn't mean anything. I guarantee you, the devil could beat you quoting the Bible. Uh, you think you're living a godly life. I bet the devil would have something to say about that, because I bet you he could step up and be like, no, you did this and this and this and this, and that belongs to me. And there's so many different things. It's like I tell people, I have a friend right now that she's being jumped on and harassed. Same thing like with you. Halloween's evil. Halloween is not evil. Halloween started out as a Christian celebration to remember loved ones who had passed, people who had sacrificed their lives. It was steeped in early, yes, the pagans had it too, Samhain, but the Christians also had their own adaptation of it. All Hallows Eve. Hallow means holy.
Mm-hmm.
The Pentacle. Constantly fight with people over the Pentacle. Pentacle was used in early Christianity. The 5 wounds of Christ. Sir Gawain, who fought in the Crusades, had a pentacle on his shield. There's an 800-plus-year-old church in Exeter, England. 800-plus years old. Pentacle in one of the windows. So, and this is another thing that I touch on in the book. So many of our symbols, the upside-down cross, Peter did not feel himself worthy to be crucified in the same way as his Lord, so he asked to be crucified upside down. There's another symbol we've lost that Christians have just jumped whole hog in the Kool-Aid. Oh yeah, that's evil. Can't have anything to do with it.
It's because they don't understand, and people, if someone doesn't understand something, it becomes bad, evil, or indifferent.
Right, and I point out in my book, one of the characters in my book says, what if evil people decided to take over Jesus? What if they took him and made another different type of symbol out of him? Are we going to give him up too?
Some would.
Well, yeah, that's the way it's going.
Some would. Simply because people do not, A, like change, and B, they don't like something they don't understand.
And they don't want to take the time to educate themselves when it's actually quite simple. And unlike what a lot of Christians tend to think, knowledge is not evil. Even the Bible says knowledge is a good thing. Knowledge is a good thing.
It's knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen, and this is another thing that I try to bring forth with the authors is when you have knowledge, you have power. I have an author right now. She was one of the first ones that I was given, and she's not on social media. She doesn't promote her book. We haven't sold not one book because I don't know what she was thinking, unless she just thought she would just put it out there because she could. And you can do that, ladies and gentlemen. You can get a book up there and you can say, well, I've published one book. But if you don't do like Andrea and I are doing, and pre-promote and market and cross-promote and post-promote and keep it out there, it's like it is in the box stores. They're going to put it on a back bottom shelf in the back of the store, and nobody will ever buy it.
Or they'll put it on clearance and nobody will still buy it because nobody will know what it is.
They go, what the heck is this? Who are these crazy people?
And this, let me throw this out there too, being as we're talking about how important promotion is. Opportunities for promotion. I make it no secret. If you are and I'll tell you this, and hopefully this will go out to all of your people out there, all Midnight Publishing authors. If you are a Midnight Publishing author, All you have to do is tag me or message me and say, hey, will you share my post? And I will gladly on my page put up, hey, here's one of my fellow Midnight Publishing alumni. Show them some love.
And she will. And she
Yes, and
does.
I put that out there all the time. Tag me, tag me, tag me, tag me. I'll share your stuff. You know how many people do?
Probably Mary.
Yeah, just Mary and a couple of others. But even on Instagram, I tell people all the time, tag me. People will spam me, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Even today, I can't imagine that spamming is acceptable. It wasn't acceptable back in our day. I still can't imagine. I don't care how much things have changed. I can't imagine that it's acceptable now.
She's talking about legitimate tagging. And she
Yes,
will.
legitimate tagging, not spamming. But I met someone the other night, and I said, okay, look, I'm trying. I've been trying for a while now to get my own perfume line. I'll let you keep all the money. You you make it, you sell it, you keep all the money. All I want is just a free bottle of perfume now and then when I want it, and a link to my website, and it based on me as an author and my world and what I write. And if at some point you decide you want to take on one of my novels or something and make a perfume line based on characters in my novel or whatever, we can discuss that later on. Now, back in our day, if an author had approached someone like that, we'd have been all over that. We'd have been all over that like a free pizza buffet. You know what this person says to me?
I'm afraid.
Let me think about it and get back to you.
That's a
Right
no.
then, my husband said, cut her off and block her, because if she's got to think about an opportunity like that, you keep all the money, just give me a link in exchange. You sell as much as you want of it. You keep the money. I don't want any of the money. Just say, hey, it's her idea. My husband said, if she's too stupid to see what an absolutely astonishing opportunity that is, a new way to make money, cut her off.
Yep, you don't need her.
And
But it,
that, Yvonne, that's the world we live in now. That is how
it is.
people are now. Back in our day, we'd have been like, hey, here come all the ideas. And there'd have been like 15 or 20 emails back and forth. Not now.
But
People nowadays are like, oh, if it doesn't happen like right this second, or if I have to do any work at all, I don't want to do it.
well, we're dealing with a whole different generation of people. And part of it I blame on the 2 years of stupidity that should have never happened. But there is such a sense of entitlement out there now. I know it's always been out there, but it blew up after the 2 years of stupidity. I know here in the village, we have people that think they're entitled. We don't own the park. We own our homes, but we rent the lot. Well, these people really believe they're entitled and that they can tell the company and management what to do because they're entitled. That's not the way it works, people. We're not entitled to even be on this earth. God blessed us with an existence. We should be grateful that we're even sitting here now having this conversation.
Right. And unfortunately, that infects every corner of life.
It does.
Tag me. No tags. Instagram algorithm. Bring me these people. Hey, how you doing? Crickets. Here's a new way for you to make money. I gotta
Crickets.
think about it.
And it's because people in general, now there's still a bunch of us that work very, very hard. Andrew will tell you some mornings I'm at this computer at 5:30 in the morning.
Yep, you are, because I'm up at 4 every morning. So, yep, I know for a fact you are.
And work late into the afternoon until my brain says, Yvonne, I am done. If you don't stop, I'm going to make so many mistakes. You're going to be so pissed off at yourself. But my authors are important to me. I made a commitment to them when they made a commitment to me. I made the commitment before they even made the commitment to me. I made a commitment that I would do the best that I could to get them heard. And Andrew will tell you right now, welcome is all over the place. If you go into your browser and you type in "Welcome to the Crow Haven Chapel" by Andrea Dean by Reverend, I put Reverend on that. I hope you noticed
Thank
that.
you. Yes,
By
I did. Thank you.
Reverend Andrea Dean Van Scoyoc, you're going to see it everywhere. And after this podcast is done, it will show up on YouTube, on Facebook, on the website, on all of the other little social medias with Twitter, Blue Sky, one I can never remember the name of, Instagram, Threads,
And
Tumblr.
then it's going to show up on mine. It's going to show
Yeah.
up on my writing profile. It's going to show up on my church profile on Instagram. It's going to show up on my church profile on Facebook. It's going to show up on my regular profile on Facebook. It's going to show up on TikTok because I'm going to take all of what you do and I'm going to put it on mine. That's the way it works.
And the beauty of this particular program, because you're on as a live guest on this show, when we shut this show down, you should get an email saying that you can go in and you can start downloading it wherever you want to download it. You
And
don't
then it's
need
going to
to,
go on my YouTube
yeah.
because I have Crowhaven Chapel has its own YouTube playlist. It's going to go on there and it's going to go on my interviews. So it's going to be in two places just on YouTube. But
See
see, you and I know
how to make
that's
it work.
how it works.
And we reach even more than double the people because the people we reach tell the people they reach, who tell the people they reach. My father was in heating and air for 60 years, had the second oldest HVAC license in the state of Georgia. He never put an ad in the paper. He never put an ad in the yellow pages. Yes, at one time we had paper phone thingies. It was called yellow pages.
Phone books.
Phone books. That's what it was. He never he never put a sign on the building. My father's business was run with a handshake and a business card, which he carried with him everywhere. Anytime he met a stranger, he gave him a business card. So what we did is we've taken that and put it on the World Wide Web because this is our new business card. When my father died or quit doing air conditioning and heating, he was doing the great grandchildren of his original customers. That's how far back he went. So when we say we market and we promote, it's like it's on steroids. And I do
Well,
this
it is
every day.
because those old ways still work. And I don't know how or if maybe I'm beating my head against a wall, but I just don't understand how this doesn't work now, except for people like you and I who know it works and we do it. I have this problem with things that aren't logical.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that. Things that don't make sense. It like makes my brain turn to jelly. And I just don't understand how the things that were so simple back in the day, they still work now. But no one wants to do them except people like you and I.
Because
And
they don't want to do the KISS method. Okay,
I guess not, but it just drives me crazy.
for you young ones who don't understand the KISS method, I'm having an allergy attack, so I'm losing my voice and everything else. The KISS method is keep it simple, stupid. Why would you want to reinvent the wheel when the wheel is rolling along fine? What I will do probably tomorrow or Friday is I will do a morning live. I will talk about Andrea's new book. I will talk about duct tape, tarp, and a shovel. I will talk about Mary's Faith and Folly, Sherry Ann Richardson's Under the Dragon's Eye and a Chocolate Lover's Garden, Jason's The Ferryman, Peggy Engler's Spiritual Inspiration Books, Alta Spiritual Inspiration Book, Kim Carmichael's Contemporary Romance, Gwendolyn Law's September Chill, which is about domestic violence. Who have I left out? Linda Humphrey's children's books. The new authors we're bringing on two. One of them, I'm waiting on his stuff. Can't get his stuff till Mary gets back because he's got all his stuff in Google Docs. And I don't send it to me in a Word file, complete file.
Google Docs can be a pain.
It's a royal pain. I will do it in Google Docs, but then I have to do a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm grateful. But we're bringing him on. He's also another spiritual inspiration person. And we're doing a new logo for spiritual inspirations. We've already done the children's logo called Small Hours. But we're doing a new logo. So anything else that you put out there for the goth community, once we get that logo's going in your book instead of the Midnight Publishing one.
Oh, awesome, because I'm already thinking of another book. So.
Okay, people are going, what are you talking about? All right. Midnight Publishing is the main publishing house that we run. Under that house, we have imprints for the different genres. The children's books, if you see the logo here on the screen, there's a skull. It's pretty dark. It's pretty, but it's dark because that's who I am. For the children's logo, it's called Small Hours, and it's a little snail, and he's all cute and fanciful, and it's for children's books. For the spiritual inspiration books, Mary is working on a spiritual inspiration imprint. It's still Midnight Publishing, but the imprint will be the spiritual inspiration imprint.
And that takes Midnight Publishing to a new level. That puts you in the league with the big kids.
Exactly. Because my motto, go big or go home.
Yep.
And what else has been a blessing, Andrea, is the growth of Midnight Publishing has not been overwhelming. It's come as it was supposed to, because I truly believe that God had a hand in this. You remember when Andrea Rhodes died, my publisher?
Yes.
And I'm going, okay, what are we going to do? Because I had two people going, Yvonne, our books will never get published. Now I'm going, okay, God, what do I need to do here? I can't let these people down, and I really want to write some more. And this little voice said, if not you, who? If not now, when? I went, what? What?
You've just been elected.
Okay, God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. So the rest is history. And we've grown gradually. I still get to write. I still get to promote. I still get to publish. And that's the way I like it, because if I were overwhelmed, Andrea's book would not have gotten done as fast as I turned it around.
Oh, yeah, you did. I just sent it to you, day before yesterday? Yesterday?
Yeah. I believe it was either yesterday or day before. But
yeah.
What's the point of sitting on a new book when you can get it out there? People can say, well, we only put books out every 3 months. Why? Why? People wait for new books. They want those books. They will snap them up. So she knows when she sends me a book, it doesn't sit over in her file.
No, it gets done
quickly.
Yes,
and
quickly.
With love.
Yes.
So let's continue with you. You've had some interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And where can the folks find your new interviews?
If you go to my website, which is the Andrea Dean Van Scoyoc. It's on Linktree. You can find me on Facebook. All somebody has to do is look through your posts and they'll find me. The link to my websites, because I have a couple, are on my page, or you can just text me, email me, whatever. I can send you the link. My stuff is all over the place. My YouTube is on my website. My interviews are on my website. Even my movies that I've done are on my website. My storytelling, my music, everything I've done, all of my music projects, everything
And
are on my website.
you don't want to miss her, because this is what she did. She did a short story to pre-promote Welcome to the Crowhaven Chapel. She put it up on her social media, and what I did is I took that link, and when I put your book coming soon up on the website, I put that link to that short story up there as well.
Well, I appreciate that, because you and I understand. Because how many times do you hear people say, well, I don't know if I want to spend the money, because what if the book's not any good? Okay, here you have my short story, which is called Two for Lunch, and it's another scenario from personal experience that I've run into. 10 pages, free ebook. Download it. If you like it, you can expect more of the same in Welcome to Crowhaven Chapel. So it's just another way. People like you and I are like, okay, no excuses. You don't like that story, you might not like the book. You like that story, you might love the book. Here, pass the story around, see how many people like it. Go order the book if you like it.
And you brought up something that I harp on all the time, because we all know my books are not for everybody. We know, especially my true crimes. We know that. However, ladies and gentlemen, even though your personal taste might not gear towards Welcome to the Crowhaven Chapel, I can bet you without a doubt you know someone, either in your family, your friends, acquaintances, people you work with, you know someone that is in the goth community. Because that community is so large now that you can't walk out the door without seeing someone who's in that community. So even though it might not be to your particular taste, it will be to theirs. So if you've got, let's say you've got a niece, a nephew, a grandchild, a child, a friend of a friend's child, you know is in that community, and you are trying to reach them spiritually and they're having none of it, buy this book. Am I right?
You are absolutely right. That's how it's done. That's how we did it in the day. We passed around information until it got to all the right people. And that's precisely what my book is for. I even touch on in the book somebody that's like, religious people are whack jobs. I even touch on that
You do.
because, like I said, experience. I've heard the same thing. Oh, you're religious? Well, you people are nuts.
And we have to separate religion from faith, because religion is a theology. There are hundreds, thousands of religions. Religion is a theology.
And people are afraid of religion because of televangelists, your big, will go unnamed, person that preaches the prosperity gospel.
Right.
There's no such thing as a prosperity gospel. Did Jesus look like he was prospering with one pair of clothes and one pair of shoes?
No.
I don't believe Jesus was walking around going, hey, just hit the lotto, check me out.
That's
No. So that's what people are afraid of. Well, yeah, you people are greedy. No, no. False prophets are greedy. That's
exactly.
why they're false prophets. Those of us who actually love the Lord, we walk a different path. And a
And
lot of times people are afraid, and I understand that. People are afraid to learn the truth. But there comes a time when people take learning the truth and they twist it. And I've got that in there too, because that is another part of it. So, as you said, if there's anyone spiritually needy in the community, and no, I'm not trying to be all that and 2 bags of chips. What I'm trying to do is bring souls to God within my own community, which
And
is
and that
the goth community.
and that brings up another point, in that when we are trying to teach someone the gospel, and they are not on, quote, our level of understanding, or our level of, as you say, societal norms, we turn them off when we condemn them for the way they dress. And I use the example of, I've known many people with dementia. People in my family have had it. When you are talking with someone with dementia, you don't pull that person into your world. You step into their world. It's the same thing when you're trying to reach souls. God tells us all we do is plant seeds. God gives the increase. So, in order to reach the goth community, we have to be willing to shed our preconceived notions about who we think those people are. And I say that with sarcasm. And we have to get into their world and speak in words they understand at that particular time. Am I right?
Yes, you are absolutely right. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I hope this is okay that I say this. But I want everyone to know, because, it's easy to talk the talk. But I want everyone to know, I don't ever ask for any kind of donations for my Bible readings, for prayer. I never would. And I am making no money off of Welcome to Crowhaven Chapel. None. And I don't want any,
She's
because
not,
it's not about me.
we fight about her royalties all the time. But she's an exception to the case, because this is my Andrea. This is the person that has been with me through thick and thin, both in my personal life and in my professional life. And she has been a friend when the rest of the world would walk out. So, Andrea and I have always been able to be very, very brutally honest with each other. So, if I slip her money now and again because of her royalties, there's nothing to see here. Just move on. But we're back to that. I don't charge because God blesses me. And this is what Andrea's trying to say. She's not, she doesn't want your money for anything, because God blesses her in ways that most people wouldn't understand.
Every single day. Every single day.
Blessings come, and it's not about how much money we can make here. I don't care if I never make a dime. I really don't. I just want people to succeed. And in this case, I want this book out there so that a portion of society that the general public deems, I'm going to use a word here and Andrew will understand the word I'm using, deems unclean because they dress differently. No, they don't have leprosy. No, they're not contagious. No, they don't
No,
worship
we don't worship the devil.
they don't worship the devil. They are trying to find their niche in this world. And it's okay. They are enough because God knows their heart.
And Welcome to Crowhaven Chapel could sell 150,000 copies. All I want is for someone to read it and say, wow, this sounds like me. hey, Lord, can we talk?
And
And
then
give their heart and soul to the Lord Jesus Christ and turn their life over to him.
and then
That is what I want.
let the blessings flow. Now,
Yes.
say, okay, but
I want
Yvonne,
someone
if
to walk up to me somewhere, someday out in public and say, I read your book and it changed my life, to which I would say, no, God changed your life. But if I had even an inkling of anything to do with that, then I'm blessed beyond measure.
because she's the vessel, she took a stand and put something out there that she knew would be unpopular. And again, I'm going to use the word she used on the back of her book, societal norms. How dare she think that those people are good enough? Well, we're going to educate you, people. You're going to get some education, as my brother would say, because those people, and again, don't be, please don't be offended. I know we live in a world of, oh, you offended me. That term is a derogatory term, and I say it because I've heard it said by people in just that way. Those people, those people were created by God, and those people deserve to hear about God. So before y'all come at us sideways, understand we got answers. And
Oh yeah. Anybody wants to know the origins of Halloween, the pentacle, anything like that before you want to jump on your holier than thou soapbox and come at me? Bring it. I got all the references you'd ever want.
we deal in facts, both of us. Me, because of my background, I have to deal in facts. Andrea, because like me, she likes to research stuff. She will never tell you something that she hasn't already researched.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
with
because
that
I'm the
being
type of person that if you tell me something, I'm like, okay, well, I want to know both sides of it.
exactly.
That way I can look at both people and say, yes, yes, no, no.
So understand that welcome to the Crow Haven. Welcome to Crow Haven Chapel. That's the title of the book by Reverend Andrea Dean Van Scoyoc. Well, it's already live for pre-order on Kindle, and it will be live in the other three formats on or around 9192. Depending on when Kindle goes live, then Audible comes up behind it. But what we are asking today, and I know Andrea will agree with me, is that all of you keep an open mind. It was one of the things my mother taught me when I was in college. I was reading this book that was written in 1929. I had to read it for a class, and I'm going, I can't, Mother. I'm going to have to wing this book report, get the cliff notes or something, because I can't. The writing is horrible. The plot's horrible. I can't. She said, Yvonne, one thing I learned, read with an open mind. Anything you read with an open mind. So when I took that attitude, I made an A on the book report, because then I understood the time frame of the book, I understood the characters of the book, I understood the plot of the book, and I understand why the woman killed herself. So when you buy this book, read it with an open mind. And who knows, Andrea, maybe this book will change some hearts of societal norms.
That's all I want is for, like I said, elder Goths, elder Christian Goths like me, if I have to walk, that's fine, as long as future Christian Goths can run.
There you go. So it is now 4 o'clock. I know you have things to do, or we could sit here all afternoon and chat.
Yes, we can.
And
We
and
could
not
be here till 2 o'clock tomorrow morning.
we could, but and you know you're coming back. So
Yes.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, go look up Andrea on my Facebook page. She's also on the Midnight Publishing page.
And if you are a Midnight Publishing author, follow me. I'll follow you back.
And she will
I am all
promote.
about, and seriously, tag me, say, hey, can you, I'm a Midnight Publishing author. Can you share my book? Yep, sure
And she
can.
will. She will. So, from Andrea, we have welcome to Crow Haven Chapel.
Yep.
The Two, A Man of Two Worlds, Werewolves and Toxic Rain, Murder at Saxon Cove, which is a cute little short story, um, Left to the Night Alone, Sundown, A Vampire's Revenge, Blackford Manor,
Fallen from Shadow, Found in Grace.
which was the very first one she sent me. Is that all of them?
I don't know. I've sent you so many, I can't even keep track. I just tell people I have a, on my website, Andrea on Midnight Publishing. Just go click there.
And they're all there.
That's what I tell people. Just go click there.
Because we redid her books and then she sends me new ones all the time.
Yes, I do.
Jason Wolfgang Gerhardt with The Ferryman, which is a paranormal police investigator. It will crack. It's got dark humor and it's got drama and you just got to read it. We have Peggy Engler who writes, let's see, A Closer Walk, Encouraging Word, Food for Thought, A Pew from the View, Soulful Inspirations, Good, Bad, and Ugly. Alta Desinoid wrote My Soul Trust in the Lord, and we're fixing to put that one out in French.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Mary Brotherton with Sally's Heart and My Angel Book. Both of those are the children's books. Oh, if you decide you wanted to get into comic books, Andrea, I know how to put those up on Kindle too.
Oh, cool.
And then Mary's new release, Faith and Folly. Sherry Ann Richardson's two books, A Chocolate Lover's Garden, which is not just about gardening. It's about baking with chocolate, cooking with chocolate, the history of chocolate, and the gardening book. It's literally four books in one. Her new release, Under the Dragon's Eye, and when you see the back cover, you're going, what does a bowling alley sign and a dragon have in common? You got to read the book. We have Linda Humphreys, The Cornfield Flyers of East Tennessee. It's another children's book, just as cute as it can be. Kim Carmichael's book, Trophy Doctor, Contemporary Romance. Who else am I leaving out? I think that, Gwendolyn Law's book, September Chill, which is her journey through domestic violence and coming out on the other side. I highly recommend that book for anybody that is in domestic violence, has been in domestic violence, or knows someone that deals or has dealt with domestic violence. Then there's my books, the latest one, Murder in the Village, which has been an interesting ride. And the reason I say that is because I did not think that book would get the traction it got. But then I live in the village of idiots. Used to be every village had one idiot.
University out the wazoo.
It used to be villages only had one idiot. Well, we have several. But the thing is, Andrea, they don't get up early enough to get one over on me. And they
No, but
also,
as I told you, you can't buy publicity like they're giving you. You
no,
would, you would have to pay a publicist thousands and thousands of dollars to get the kind of publicity they are giving you for free.
and the silly gooses put themselves in the book.
Yeah, and they're still giving you free publicity.
And I love it, and I use it to my advantage every day. Working on the second in the series called Duct Tape, Tarp, and a Shovel. And I'm not sure if my queens are coming to play or not. They keep trying to get out. They keep going, we're here, we're here, we're here. Because, they were in the first one. So we'll see how that goes along. And if you want to meet the queens, Two of them who are real people. Vicky Lane, who is a premier drag queen, and I promote her every time I do something because she is the reason that I have my drag queens. Read the Pink Canary. She is the one that helped me get into the culture of those people. She's an amazing drag queen. And Peter Fundura, who always told me, you've seen him write that. He always wanted to die in a plane crash. And I told him he didn't have to now because he's in the books as Penelope. There's 3 true crimes out there. There's Silent Scream. There's The Last Rites and Justice for Cindy. Read those. They're raw. Again, those books are not for everyone. So if you're not in law enforcement, you probably won't get it. What else have I got out there? Blood Alley, which is a short story. Madness Unhinged, which is a collection of short stories, which, yeah. Um, Tangled Minds, Brilliant Insanity, a Voice from the Grave, A Mad Hatter. What else have I got out there? Say it like Andrea. I got so many I can't keep up. Just pull me up.
Yeah, that's why I tell people just go to my website.
Just
click.
go to Amazon and pull
Just
up.
go to the website and click.
Yeah, there it is. So until next Wednesday, I don't know if I'll have a guest or not because Mary's still out of town. We may take a week off. Who knows? But if we take a week off, then we lose interest, and I don't want to have to build it back up. So I don't know what we'll do. We'll figure it out between now and then.
Well, if you want me back on, here I am.
Well, get out of my head. I was fixing to say maybe bring you back on because next Wednesday will be 2 days after the book's been released.
Yeah, I can't stay out of your head. That's one of my favorite spaces.
It's crowded in there.
Yeah, but that's why I come in and kick everybody else out.
Well, all the voices argue all the time. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is one of our banes of existence we have to endure as writers. It stays crowded. Yeah. So, you know where to find her. You know how amazing she is. She is not only an amazing author, she is an amazing friend and partner in crime in this world of books that we live in. Do you have any last thoughts, my friend?
Just support us. Share our links. Visit our websites. Listen to my music. Read your books. Read everything we've got. Tell everybody you know.
And buy them for gifts. Get your friends to buy it. If somebody says, oh, you have Yvonne's new book. Can I read it when you're done? Say, no, here's where you can go buy it. While
Yes.
I like the idea of sharing, and that's what we can touch on next week, Andrea. Pirating.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you've seen it or not, but there are Audible sites that have downloaded my books. There are Kindle type sites that have downloaded my books. And people are getting these for free or little or no money. So we don't get paid on these. So we'll talk about that next week.
Yes. Yes, we'll talk about that.
Do we want to do the same 3:00?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. She has a husband she has to look after, so 3:00 is good for her. So we'll come back next week, Andrea and I, and we will talk about why you don't want to pirate our books.
Yes.
It's like you don't want to pirate music. If you pirate our books, we don't get paid. And I had a gentleman the other day say, oh, so it's a hobby. No, he said, at least you have a hobby. I said, oh dear, here we go. I was very nice. I said, it is not a hobby. It is who I am. I eat, breathe, and sleep either with the book I'm writing or the publishing house. That's why I was up at 5:30 this morning, because duct tape, tarp, and a shovel was going, come play. Come play. You need to play. And I just want to sleep. I've been awake all night. So, but that being said, I will bring you back next week. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a treat because Andrea's coming back. We're going to talk about Welcome the Crow Haven Chapel by Reverend Andrea Dean Van Scoyoc. please, let's make this thing go through the roof for her and for God, mainly for God.
Absolutely.
All the glory goes to Him. And I am very grateful I have this ability for her. So until then, my love, I will see you. And we're going to stop this now.
Love you very much. See you next week.
All right, honey. So, see, we can